Hello, my name is Ishima Kathy on the program Safe Life, and today we are at the Yuganet Shelter Home, and here with me I'm with the manager. She's going to be telling us how they're helping the teenage pregnant mothers. Hello.
Hello viewers. Hello Kathy.
Hi. What's your name, what's your position here, and what's the shelter home about?
Thank you so much Kathy. My name is Rona Babwetera. I am the head of the gender department at Yuganet, and I double as the shelter manager at the Rising Woman GBV Shelter Home and Wellness Center.
Okay.
Well, the center is a safe space or place for women and young girls, those who are survivors of GBV and those that are not safe, who are likely to become victims of violence in their places, at home, in school, and in the neighborhood, anywhere that they live.
Take us through the different activities that you run within the shelter.
First of all, probably to let you know that you need to get the picture of how these women and girls get into this shelter. We have a toll-free line where the world is aware that we provide this kind of space to them, so we get phone calls through that. We get referrals from organizations that deal with the rights of women and girls. We also get referrals from the Uganda Police, and in such a situation, one of our very first activity that we conduct is rescue, getting these young girls or women from harm's way, from the danger that they are facing, and bringing them into this home.
Okay.
And once they get into this home, the very, very first thing that we do is to ensure that they have a bed,
Okay.
and they have what to eat. An assessment is made on them to ensure that they are physically not injured, and if anyone is injured, then our very first step is to have medical attention. As soon as we are done with the medical attention, we have an in-house counselor that prepares them into realizing where they are at. We do that psychosocial support, we do the counseling services, the therapy is on from the time a person gets into the shelter until the last day that they leave. We also have legal aid services at this shelter home, and depending on what kind of case a person has, we do have lawyers that follow up these matters and do legal representation in court. And then if it's a criminal matter, we do still have lawyers that hold brief in these cases. And then while at the shelter, the wellness bit that we speak to, we do have the body, where we do some exercises. We'll do yoga and all those other kinds of exercises. The soul, we treat it by getting speakers who talk to them in the religious angle, to preach to them, to speak to them, to spare time and share scriptures with them, to soothe their souls. And then the emotional bit definitely is what is handled by the counselor. And then most of these people that have come through this Rising Woman, we've realized that there's an element of dependency on their perpetrators. So we have an economic arm where we do provide simple life skilling for them. We do backyard gardening, mushroom growing, they do shampoo, bakery, beading, all that. And by the time a woman or a young girl is leaving this home, they are set to face the world in a different way.
Well, as all that goes on,
yes,
there's some of them that would love to go back to school. What do you do for those ones?
Well, yeah, we are faced currently, probably if you could allow me, in the beginning, this shelter home was an emergency response to the lockdown and the abuses that were being meted on the women and girls. So we hadn't even anticipated the going back to school because the lockdown was covering the schools and everything. But currently, as we speak, we have a number of teenagers who are in this home. Majority are yet to give birth. So despite the fact that they want to go back to school, we cannot think about school as of now until they've delivered, and probably we shall be connecting them to other organizations that provide school-related services to teenagers.
So basically for you don't provide?
No, as an
services.
institution, the service that we provide is referral, identification and referral to the most appropriate organizations.
Okay, so as all this, as all you do, all your different activities here and there, I believe that you face challenges here and there. What are some of those challenges that you face?
The biggest challenge that we face, I should say, is the slow systems of justice, where cases are investigated, they take a little bit longer, and then courts of law hearing such cases also will take some time. And then also the other challenge that is so definite is where do we put the babies that are born to the teenagers who want to go back to school and they have been rejected by their families, some of them that are impregnated by their own fathers. Where do you put this baby after? That is another challenge that we face. And then that I cannot live without mentioning is the resources to really take care of every individual's needs from the time they get into here and the time they are leaving the shelter home.
So, well, as you talked about the different challenges, of course, I believe you have some achievements that you look at and you say, yeah, we're really doing it as the center. Or you see the children or maybe the teenage mothers having some, gaining hope again in their lives. What are some of those things that you look at and say, yeah, we've done it?
Well, I must pride in the fact that we have not had any woman or young girl come through our shelter and is coming back with a similar issue.
Okay.
At least I believe by the time they live here, they are safe, they are comfortable, because as we resettle them, we look out for the most appropriate place for them to resettle.
Okay.
So not recurring or not coming back to seek similar services, and yet we do follow them up to check on them to know how they are progressing.
Okay.
For me, I would pride in that to say that it's an achievement. And then we have achieved to have about 5 so far, 5 teenagers deliver from our shelter home.
Wow.
With currently 4 of them expecting any time. So for me, that would be something I should be priding in. And also the women that came through our shelter home, those that were trained and given a little bit of facilitation, they are out there doing business and earning at least an income for
That's really
themselves.
Nice. Well,
yeah.
as a mother, as a woman, what is your appeal to the public out there, like to the fathers, to all the people that are causing harm to these young girls out there, all the women?
Well, my appeal to the public would be for the parents. Let's go back to the parenting roles we had in the past, where we used not to hear so many cases of defilement, and also for those that really believe they hold the power, the men that society has given more power, can they use their power properly? Their power to build their homes, not to break them. Their power to uplift their own children and wives and not to break them into the pieces that we pick upon to build from this shelter home. And then to the leaders, definitely, can we play our role? Can we go back, speak to our communities, bring our communities back on board to respect the rights of women and girls?
Okay. Thank you very much. It was really nice having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm here with one of the survivors and let's hear her story. Hello, what's your name? How old are you?
My name is Namagala Patricia.
Yes.
And I am 14 years old.
Okay. Patricia, how did you end up in this situation? Briefly, give us a story.
Well, it's a long story, but I got pregnant in this COVID. So I had a boyfriend at first. You know, girls, we are very stubborn.
Yeah.
I got a boyfriend, so he made me pregnant. By the time I knew that I'm pregnant, for him, he had already left the place. I don't know where he works. So I got scared to tell my mom that I'm pregnant. I ran away from home. I started moving. I didn't know the right place I was going to. I was just moving to look for a place where to live, and even something to eat. So in those days, I used to eat on dustbins.
Oh my God.
When I was pregnant, it was too young. The stomach was too young. So by that time, I got some place where I slept.
Okay. And then how did you end up coming to the shelter?
The shelter.
How did you manage to find the shelter?
I had, like, in those days when I went away from home, I came back from my mom to my mom. She was around, so I came back. When I saw, like, they what? Well, how should I say it? I was not in a good health.
In a good condition.
Yes,
so you went back home.
Yes. Then I called my mom because I had my mom's number in my head. Then I called her. Then she told me to come back at home.
Okay.
She's the one even who sent me transport. I came back at my home. But by that time I was very, 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 very sick. My stomach was almost getting aborted.
Oh, you're almost getting a miscarriage.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So I was very sick. I had a lot of pain down. I used even not to walk very well. So when I came back, she used to take me to the hospital. I used not to work. I used to be like on cannulas every day.
Okay, so
I used to be on cannulas every day.
Okay.
Like when we had their chairperson, she's a woman. She's a vice chairperson. She connected us into it was a program they took to kindergarten. Kampala. It was in Kampala in kindergarten at school. Then like I got some people who supported me. She was called Madam Hope. She supported me. Then she talked to Madam Rona. That's when I came here.
And then how has the shelter helped you so far? Like from the time you were out there on the streets and then now being in the shelter?
They helped me so much because I was very sick when I came here. When I was home, I used not to have anything. Like anything to buy, like even a cloth, even a what for my baby. I have nothing of them. And my mom didn't have money. So they came, they have helped me. Even I wasn't some big like this.
Wow.
I was not looking like this.
Oh, that's really
I'm
nice.
strong now. They have made me be strong. They have made me they have made me to feel like I'm in an environment.
They've given you a conducive environment that you would have at home. Okay, well, just send out your message to the public out there. Like, what would you tell people out there, the young girls like you who are in the same situation, or those who are out there trying to study, but then what's your message to them?
The only message I would have to tell them is that if they're in schools, let them concentrate in schools. And if they get problems, let them not fear to tell all their parents or someone who is elder than them. Let them not run away from home. Let them first tell someone so that they get some help.
Would you like to send greetings to anyone out there?
Yes.
Definitely do that.
I would like to send greetings to my mom, my loving mom.
Wow, that's nice. Okay, thank you so much, Patricia. It was really nice having you on the show.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm here with another gender-based violence survivor, though she's a bit mature, as you can see. Hello.
Hello.
Jebale konyabo.
Kale nyabo naye jebale konyabo.
Kale weyanjule amanyago.
Amanya gange nze Gesa Rachel.
Okay.
Naye nga abasinga bamanyi nga mukyala Kyazze.
Kati mukyala Kyazze kyajja kitya okuba ng'oli wano?
Omutabanguko mu maka. Bwatwala ebbanga nga womanyi omukyala oluusi otya okuloopa. Wotuka ku poliisi lusi bakozesa Olungereza tolumanyi Luswahili ne bakutiisatiisa mu lulimi. kati no failing okolaki kweyongerayo. Ne oluusi tutya makyaki ge tusinzirizaamu, oluusi nga gye tuloopa ensonga zaffe mu kyaki, ab'ekyaki ne bakugumya ne bakugamba nti tuleka tumusabire, ne basaba naye ng'embeera tekolaki tekyuka.
Nga tewali n'omu akugamba oveeyo mu
tewaba n'omu mu kyaki akugamba nti genda mu mateeka,
agamba
oguma tusabe. N'ogenda okulaba nga musabye ebbanga gwanvu nga teriiwo ekikolaki ekikyuka. Bw'ogendayo era kibongera okolaki okugamba nti tusabe. Kati nze bangamba ebbanga gwanvu nti tusabe kuva 2012 natuuka 2020 nga ndi mu tusabe paka wenagamba mwami ye yennyini yagamba mbadde manyi olese poliisi era olese bakyaki. Awo nenzuukuka netandika okolaki okugenda ku mateeka. We natuuka eyo
kati nga tonagenda mu mateeka biki omwami wo bye yakukolanga ebyakusindika okuvaayo?
Kunkuba nga nkuba tayagala kukola. Mwami yantamisa n'okwogera oluzungu. Nze nasoma ne midwife naye yanzijako n'ebbaluwa nga tayagala nkole, nga nowenkola ssente agamba zize, wogana ozimuwa ng'akolaki ng'akukuba paka omwezi oguwedde January bwe yatutunda n'akoona ennyumba. Era nali wali omukwano gwe nali mperekedde mu ddwaliro nasiŋŋaana ennyumba bakoze eki bagikubyewo, naye bagendera okukuba ennyumba olwedde nali nfunye obuyambi kuba nagenda ku poliisi nga tebafaayo kumala omwaka mulamba nga ndi mu poliisi naye nga tewali kikolaki kikyukako paka we nafuna mukwano gwange eyandeeta eno.
Mukati mukwano gwo we yakuleeta wano okutuuka wano kiki kyolaba kyebakoleddewo essaawa zino wogambira nti it was kyali worth it okuvaayo we nali nenzija wano?
Nali bubi nnyo kuba okusookera ddala wamenya ennyumba yanzibako abaana 2 abato n'abatwala ate nga abadde tabaweerera school fees, tatugulira mmere. Ekyo kyekyasinganga okuntabula neŋŋamba abadde tatulabirira nga nze nfaayo abo abaana tagenda kolaki kubalabirira, naye kati abaana babajjayo babanfunira era nabalabako n'amaaso gange. Weewaawo n'ekirala nagenda okutuuka wano nga ndi mu mbeera si nnungi, nga ndi mu mbeera eyagala kubeera zekka nga nkyaya abantu bonna kubanga nga ndabira ddala nga teriyo muntu asobola kolaki okuyamba. Naye lwire we natuuka mu kifo kino nalaba nga waliwo omuntu asobola kolaki okuyamba n'abeera wamu naawe.
Lastly, we are joined by the director of Yuganet. Hello, please say hello to the viewers.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you so much for having us. I am Dora Chichoncho Msinguzi, and I'm the executive director at Yuganet.
Okay, Dora, why did you choose to start this home, the shelter for the gender-based violence survivors?
So Yuganet has always had a robust violence against women program. We do both prevention and response. In prevention, we are in communities in different parts of the country, working with men and women, everyday activists, to challenge violence against women. But because also we are strongly grounded in the legal response, we are a team of lawyers that every day put our heads together to be the advocates for women. But then came COVID. COVID was here, and in just a few months of lockdown, we could feel the latent heat wherever we were. We were on endless phone calls. We were called upon from different levels, from different leaders, at community level, by police officers. Women were dying in their homes. Girls were not safe at home. So as an organization that is grounded in the feminist principles, that believes in safety of women, we believed we needed to do more than advocate and send awareness messages. We believed women needed a place to go hide, needed a place to be well and do the trauma and have a place of rest. And that is the theory and the philosophy that is behind Rising Woman. Rising Woman Wellness and Shelter Home was created as a dream of reducing trauma at the point it was at its peak. Being responsive to the women that were being thrown on the streets, that had nowhere to run. Other times would be, it would never have been any better to address violence against women, but the COVID times were strange times.
Okay. And then what do you think is the importance of having such a shelter, most especially for the gender-based violence, apart from them having somewhere else they could go to?
So generally shelters, Rising Woman is the 14th licensed shelter, meaning that the country has enough of these shelters. We have a number of these shelters. We just got our license as number 14 in the country. They are in different places, run by different women's rights organizations, to be able to be spaces of safety. Safety means a lot. There are deaths that the shelters have prevented. Because they know they can run somewhere, they get away from harm's way. Because they know that they would have been probably on the street, running away from a dangerous situation onto another dangerous situation in a street. Actually, when you hear the painful stories of women, it is when they were running from one form of danger that they got into another form of danger. And many have lost their lives there. And many have had increased trauma in such circumstances. So the shelters that are in country, we thank our partners and the different actors that are in this. UGANET is just one player among many players that are focusing on ensuring that women are safe, that among the other programs, legal support, medical support, counseling, raising awareness, there is also a program for safety. And this is what this shelter is all about. So what have we achieved, or what have we seen? What have we learned?
Continue to that. Can we first tell us, how have you tried to create awareness of gender-based violence? Yes, we're well aware that very many are in these situations, but they don't come out to speak.
Violence against women is like a crisis of its own, an epidemic one, usually a silent one.
Yeah,
and as a community, as society, sometimes we've normalized the silence. Or have even normalized the practice. You see what happens when you're on your smartphone and you're getting streams and streams of videos. People have time to record, they don't have time to avert, you know? Meaning that it is a normal scene, it's a normal picture you'll get on any day on your WhatsApp, on your phone. And that is the culture of impunity, that the more we see violence, the more men see it happening everywhere, and people going away with it, the more violence is increasing. But also the more women are failing to find systems that support them to report and challenge violence. If we're a community that said violence is abnormal, that actually responded in strength when we see women and children being beaten, when we see girls being defiled, when men who defile their daughters, relatives who defile their young girls in their homes are punished in stringent ways, maybe this would be abated. But it is not an easy fix. It is a crisis, like you see us dealing with other epidemics and other crises. It begets the vulnerable, the people who can't fight back. So that is why UGANET, as a part of the bigger picture of the women's movement, as a part of what government is intending to do, because we have the backing and the support and the leadership of the Ministry of Gender. This shelter is licensed by the Ministry of Gender. So as a country, as a sector, as a community, we are working together to ensure that we put our hands and our efforts to make women and girls safer.
Okay, then as you're giving out your last remarks, what's your way forward? Thank your partners, and in case there's someone out there who is watching and does not know where to find you, how would they get to you?
So number one, for those that need support, we want to tell our communities that UGANET would like to stand in solidarity with you. For any woman, any girl out there, you feel unsafe, you feel traumatized, you're dealing with violence against a domestic violence case, please reach out. We have a toll-free line that you can call. On any of our social media platforms, you will find our contacts. Please come for help. Be safe. Women die in homes because they are that epidemic of silence. Speak out, receive support. Right. And to our partners that give us the funding to do this work, we are eternally grateful. We are, most specifically, I'll mention a few. UN Women in Uganda has supported this work from inception. The UN Women Country Office is behind the safety program for many shelter homes. But we also want to thank the Open Society of Uganda, the Wellspring Philanthropic Fund, that actually has a very core specific support for women and girls with disability. This wellness center has been home to girls with disability, and we want to ask anybody who is feeling left behind to know that they can call Uganet and they can receive support.
All right, thank you very much. It was really nice having you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, let's join power and stop gender-based violence. Remember, living a safe life is your right and responsibility. I am Ishimwe Kathy. Stay safe.
Mirinda.
Grab yourself an ice-cold bottle of Mirinda Orange at any shop or supermarket near you. Mirinda Orange, the taste that makes you go ORNG.
It's time to teach. Schools are open. In these days of COVID-19, teachers are not only giving knowledge, but protecting themselves and their students from the virus. As a teacher, you must ensure that students follow the set SOPs of always maintaining a distance of 2 meters from others in classrooms, dormitories, entertainment halls, school vans and playgrounds, wearing a washed and clean mask every day that covers their mouths and noses, and regularly washing their hands with soap and water. In addition to that, you must counsel students about stigma related to COVID-19 and discourage them from violence. Any violence against students from classmates, teachers or parents should be reported immediately to a school administrator or senior woman or man teacher for correction and further guidance. Ensuring everyone's safety is key, so make sure students are out of class by the official closing time. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
This week on UBC.
Somebody suggested that we should go and shower after dinner.
After dinner.
We were supposed to shower
before
dinner. And as we were showering, a pack of dogs came. Because we had dogs at home, I knew that you don't run away, you stand. But the dogs came at me and everybody ran away. So I turned to run, and of course I was too late.
Yes.
So I was bitten by the dog, I think one of them.
Quite an interesting character.
I received a phone call. Is that Betty coming? Yes, it is. Would you wait for the president? He wants to speak to you. I thought they were fake people who want to.
Yeah.
So he comes and says, "Hey, Odiota, this is your way." I say, "Oh, come on. I don't have time for jokes. What do you?" But then I sobered and realized it could be the one. And I parked on the side. We talked and was asking me, "You are a bright girl." And he says it even here. "Why are you wasting your time?" There I know. La, 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 la.
I can imagine how it was said.
You're a bright girl, but you're there wasting your time in la, 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 when you can be serving your country in a better way.